stand up. So we're going to start with the over-under position, having our knees off of the mat and our ribs. I want to get the ribs to basically the point where I'm touching his chin. I want to be here. Okay, so that's the initial line that I want to be. Nothing is on the ground. There's nothing on the ground at all. I've got full extension with this arm. If he tries to bring his knee up, just bring your knee. I've got a full extension here with the knee. If I can get under his armpit, fantastic. Sometimes you can't. But I basically want my thumb turned out and his head this way, so he can't move his head this way to pull the guard. Right? So there's like this is what's happening with my arms. You can see it's like I'm doing this with my arms. Okay? My chin always wants to connect. I never want to have my chin floating in the middle on any of this. I never want the chin floating in the middle. So if my chin floats in the middle, particularly if they're big, one, they can push their shoulder into my throat, and we'll come on to some things about this in the standing game. He can also club my head, do the bridge like we've been doing, which is why I want my chin. Notice how, if he bridges this way, we're back to what we were doing with the iron pillow. Right? That's the first sort of parts of it. And then what you're also working on is not being down on here, but up here. Like, you see how it's like my ribs, I kind of want to get them into his chin. So every time he bridges now, we'll just play with this. It's like, if I need to, this is here, put it flat. If his arm was on the other side of it, and he's trying to get his elbow, and again I'm here, and I'm switching my feet. I'm switching my feet. So he tries to push into me or bridge into me. It's my feet that create the base. If my feet are flat, you know, here, whatever, but if my feet are flat and my legs are straight, now when he pushes into me, like my legs are locked out, there's nowhere for my legs to go. Okay, so a few things to kind of work into it. No one's going to get all of it kind of right first time, and you do have to adjust. But the main thing I want you to think about is this thing that Hicks and Henry, Thornton, they're all talking about it now. Your sternum plate, and this is the biggest thing I want you to remember, particularly for the stand-up, is that your sternum plate, think of like a Swiss flag. Pete has a sternum plate that, you know, it goes down here, sternum, the bone, and it's like the opposite of the spine. Obviously it ends here from the diaphragm. But we're trying to actually use that, because the thing about spines and sternums is that you kind of can't fake them. You can put all the muscle that you want around them, but those bones are ultimately gonna cross. And you think about trying to cut through bone, right? You kind of can't. So I'm here, I get my ribs up, so I'm trying to put as much weight as possible on, and I'm always angling my feet. I'm making sure that I'm getting like just over 90 degrees. If I'm too straight, I have nowhere to go. If I'm too bunched up a lot of the times, I have nowhere to go. Your strength curve is usually around like the maximum of intensity of where your muscles are actually truly engaged is usually around about that 90-degree mark. And it goes all the way through in your guard. It's about 90 degrees. It's just over. Has anyone got any questions on what I've just talked about? Chin to shoulder. It's kind of a continuation really of what we've just been doing. But the basic arm position is this. So this is retracting and pulling in. This is extending on the leg side. This is extending, chin to shoulder. And then I'm just shuffling my body, bringing my body up to about here. He's just going to bridge and move around, and I'm just going to check that my base is there. Tries to roll me, switch, and all the time reconnecting my head to shoulder, and then looking to put something on that chin, either my ribs, I can put my forearm later on, etc. Yeah, let's give it a go with the body.